Hey y'all. Hola mi gente. How are you guys today? Well, today is a very special day in my house. It's not only Thursday, which y'all know what happens on Thursday. Thirsty Thursdays live with me, your favorite Georgia Rican. But it is my beloved husband of over 20 years. It's his birthday today. So this week I've been asking him, what do you want as your birthday cake? And he was like, I don't know what I'm feeling right now. And I was like, well, what do you think you want? And I make a lot of desserts, but there's like 3 to 4 that I know are like his favorites. He loves my homemade from scratch carrot cake. He just loves it. And he loves, sorry, I was getting a message. And he loves my white chocolate macadamia amaretto cheesecake. Shut up. It is to die for. Put some fresh amaretto in there, some almond extract, white chocolate, chop up some, it's divine. And a couple others, but then he likes this cake, and I had it in the back of my mind because I haven't made it in a while. I actually wrote it down in my book of where I got this recipe, and I just want to share it with you. It's not an original from me, but it is so southern, and it's so delicious, and it's become one of our family favorites. And it's called a New Orleans double chocolate Christmas praline fudge cake. I know a lot of people like to get their videos and cook and act like they make up all these recipes. Sometimes they do, but they don't. I'm just sharing things that have been shared to me. This is from a Christmas Southern Living cookbook, and you probably can't see this, but on the very top I put a family favorite, and then on the bottom I've kind of written down times that I made it, what was the feedback, why we made it. So on May 14th, which is my husband's birthday, 2011, I put down Richie's blank birthday. I put the number. He loved it. Exclamation point and smiley face. And then on June 21st, 2009, I put made for Richie on Father's Day, one of his favorite desserts I make. And then on October 17th, 2011, I wrote a friend of ours, it used to be our daughter's nurse, her 50th birthday. So anytime that people have asked me to make this or, whatever, I mean, I've made it more than these 3 times, but I just wanted to pinpoint this on. Then I'll add 2020, his blank birthday. So anyways, I just want to share with you guys. We loved it. I love to collect cookbooks, and I try out a lot of recipes, and this was a winner. And mine may not look like this though, but that's how it's supposed to look. Divine. Can't wait to share this with you guys. It is rich. It has buttermilk. It's chocolatey. Of course, it has ganache that we're gonna make. So let me just read to you really quick the ingredient and the measurements, because I actually have a recipe for this. Of course, I changed it up a little bit, but not too much. So 1 cup of butter or margarine, 1/4 cup of cocoa, 1 cup of water, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 2 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That's for your cake batter. Then for your chocolate ganache, you'll need 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate morsels, 1/3 cup of whipping cream, 1/4 cup of butter or margarine cut into pieces. For your praline frosting, you'll need 1/4 cup of butter or margarine, 1 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar, 1/3 cup of whipping cream, 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 cup of chopped pecans. And I'm sharing this with you because I don't even know if you can get this recipe. Maybe online you can find things everywhere, But this recipe, this cookbook is from 2002. So that's 18 years ago. So yeah. Let the baking begin. Hey y'all, this is what we'll need for our delicious double chocolate praline fudge cake. We have some salt, baking soda, all-purpose flour, confectioner sugar. We have pecans. We have, or pecan, how some like to say. We have cocoa powder. We have sugar, eggs, some semi-sweet morsels. I found some Godiva ones and some Ghirardelli ones. My own vanilla extract. I'm using my bourbon vanilla extract. My brown sugar. We got buttermilk, some butter, some extra pecans back there, and we'll use some water. And that is it. It's gonna be so yummy. Let's get baking. Okay, to start, we need to get us a saucepan. We're gonna put 1 cup of butter. So it's basically 2 sticks of butter, because 1 stick is a half a cup. So I already had this at room temperature, so it's gonna melt super quick, super fast, which is all right by me. Then we're going to get 1 cup of water. And we're going to use 1/4 cup of cocoa. This is going to be a chocolatey rich cake. So this is 100% cacao Dutch process premium baking. One-fourth cup of cocoa. We're going to put this on the stove top, and it says to over low heat. Stirring constantly until butter melts and the mixture is smooth, and then we remove it from heat, and then we cool it, because then we're going to put it, it's going to be part of our batter. All right, so let's get to the next step. What we're going to need is our buttermilk, eggs, and such. Let's get that ready. All right, y'all, it is melted. The sugar and the cocoa and the water, they're all together. So I don't know if you can see that steam, but we're going to go ahead and let this cool now, because we're going to put in our batter and it's going to have eggs and such. We don't want it scrambling. So an easy way to get this cool is just to put it in a metal bowl, stick it in your freezer. You know what I'm saying? Your fridge, your freezer, glass bowl. But if you leave it in the pot to cool, it's going to take a lot longer. So that's what I'm about to do, is stick it in a bowl, a metal bowl preferably, because it'll get cold quick and retain its cold, and stick it in the freezer. Pouring this luscious chocolate. Now don't forget about it. If you need to, we don't want our butter to get hard again, but we definitely want it cool. It is hot to the touch. Now that we got our chocolatey concoction cooling, we're going to start with more of our base. So we're going to need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Throw that in the bowl. Now usually I would put it with like my salt and my flour and stuff, but I had it doing it this way. Baking soda, and then vanilla and 2 eggs, and we're gonna mix that up together. So I guess it wants to make sure that not just one little part of the cake gets the baking soda, and that kind of makes sense to make sure you blend it into something. And then I'm gonna go ahead and shake up my vanilla extract that's homemade. I'm using my bourbon whiskey to make it even more of a southern. And this is where my take varies. I put more than just a teaspoon. I put 2 teaspoons of this homemade vanilla. Right now, I'm going to get my hand mixer, and I have a big one, but I thought this would be just fine. And we're just going to mix these up and get that baking soda all incorporated really good in the eggs. Alright, you just beat it on medium until it's all combined. Simple enough. We need to add our buttermilk. I don't know why I forgot. So we need 1 cup. Oh, I should have shook it first. I did shake it and then I set it down. It's been here for a hot minute or so, which is fine. It'll still be good to top it off. And I do it till it slightly starts to overflow because I want to make sure I have every bit of that buttermilk. And see how I feel like some stays in my cup and it's not like completely, you know, emptied out. That covers whatever stays in my cup by letting it just slightly overflow. All right, let's mix this up and then we'll gather our dry ingredients together and add it. We got to add our chocolate mixture to this. So let's see if our chocolate has cooled down enough. All right, let's grab our chocolate out of the freezer. Oh yeah, that looks so yummy. Let's get our dry. Actually, we have to put this first. So let's get this incorporated. Let me grab a spatula. I want to get every bit of this goodness in here. All right. So short. Oh, y'all. See that? Oh, yeah. That's nice. This is not going to taste good. I mean, I can put it in my mouth, but it has no sugar in it. It's 100% cocoa. So I'm going to wipe my finger and not take the temptation. We're just going to mix these together. Our butter chocolate mixture with our buttermilk egg mixture. Before I amp up the speed, I'm going to scrape all this that's in the bowl in here. I want all that buttery goodness in here. And that did the trick. Putting it in here, it was super nice and cooled off. And earlier, when I put the water in here, I noticed I used a 3/4 cup. It wasn't 1 cup of water. So I'm going to get my 1/4 cup, wherever it is, which is right here, and add that water in here. There we go. Mix that up. Now that we have this going, I'm going to incorporate my dry ingredients. I'm going to put it in here, kind of sift it before I put it in here. All right, we need 2 cups of flour. I'm going to put it right here on my sieve. That's 2 level cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar. This does not lack in the sweet department. I'll use this to kind of help feed the larger cup. I had overflowed my sugar tin. So here's 1. I can go ahead and start sifting what I do have. Let me add my salt, which is half a teaspoon, but I am gonna do 1 whole teaspoon because I like what the salt does to a super sweet cake. So here's half and another half. I'm okay with all that getting together. And 1 more cup of sugar. flexible. I have a little thing that you're supposed to scrape, but I mean, that's too easy to get that right. To make sure you have even amounts. All right. I'm just running it through my sieve, and it'll be the same thing as sifting your flour and sugar. And this kind of makes sure that sugar and your salt and your flour kind of get pretty well incorporated. And then if there's any large lumpy pieces like this, you can keep beating it and they'll come out and disappear. So yeah, makes your batter more light and airy. Now to incorporate these, the sugar, buttermilk mixture, sugar flour mixture into this big bowl. We'll just gradually put it in, and we will put, it says beat it on medium speed. So, and it does warn you that the batter will be thin, so not to, like, you know, get super worried that your batter is off. I'm gonna scoop it in little by little. Then you're gonna spray, you know, grease 2 pans, 2 8-inch pans, and then put wax paper at the bottom of it. So that way, because obviously it's gonna be a moist cake, and it'll help release the cake from the pan that way. Can y'all see this? The batter is looking amazing. I think I had it on low, so now it's on medium. I always start it off like that, to be honest, because I'm always afraid I'm going to splatter when it's just all water, you know, liquid in here. I can start doing this little by little more. It looks amazing. We just have a little bit more left. All right. I want to make sure I got all that. Can you see this? I'm going to stop it for a second. And I'm going to get this and just kind of run it through the sides where the pot, you know, the flour likes to gather sometimes. Scrape my bottom just to double check. Wow, this is feeling and smelling amazing. Just use my paddles to help scrape this, and few more seconds, and that's all she wrote, guys. Now it's just time to spray our 2 round pans and put some wax paper at the bottom, and I'll be right back. Real quick, I wanted to share you guys a tip of when you're buttering pans like this. It's best to do it either over your trash can or over your sink. And the reason why is anytime you're spraying, you're gonna have overspray, you know, when you're trying to get the edges. And that can be very dangerous if you have tile, linoleum, or hardwood floors. You can slip. Also, I told you 2 8-inch pans, you need 3. Now that we have, I'm gonna spray these 2, and then on the 3rd one, I'm not gonna spray it until I show you what I do to kind of measure it for my waxing paper. You know, a lot of times you might grab, sorry, I got a little bit of space here. You might get your waxing paper, this pan's not been sprayed, and then you try to trace it or whatever. Well, an easy way to do it is just fold your wax paper like this. This middle, so once you fold your paper like this, put that point in the middle of your pan And just get you some scissors, which I just had. I don't know what I did with them now. Oh, here they are. And from the top, if you can see, I'm holding this still. You cut around. You kind of, you want to make sure you're at the middle point of your pan. You're not too far in or too far out. And even if it's a little bit big, it's okay. But then you open it up and you have your circle. And you're able to stick it in your pan and it'll be pretty much perfect sizing. All right, I'm gonna keep on doing this and then I'll be right back. All right, guys, now that we have our pan sprayed and lined, we're just gonna pour our batter as evenly as we can into these three 8-inch pans. And then my oven was preheating at 350, and I'm gonna drop these babies in. So I always start off by putting a little bit on each, trying to be as even. It's like if you have kids. If you have kids, you gotta be even with the gift giving or they get jealous. The cakes might not get jealous, but your cake is gonna be lopsided. I'm gonna keep pouring in here. And then I'm gonna kind of shake the pan so that the batter evens out in each pan, so then I can get an idea of which one's lacking what. Just like that. So I can tell this one already needs a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna try to scrape this down. Go in here. This one's, they all need some love. This may be less than the other one. All right, y'all. Simple as this. And then what's good about getting a spatula, see how you can see almost through my bowl now? Because I've not wasted one little bit. Which, if you have kids, they probably hate that because they want to lick the bowl. Now they can just lick the spoon. There's always something left to enjoy. And then just shake it just because you want to make sure, again, your batter is even. And there they are. We're going to the oven. Just stick these in real quick. I'm gonna put 2 and then 1 on top. On 350 for, I don't know how many minutes because I gotta record. 22 to 24 minutes. It's a darker pan. That's another thing. When you're cooking with darker pans, you want to reduce the heat a little bit. So instead of 350, I'm going to actually drop it to 325 because darker pans are going to cook faster and it's probably going to need less time to cook. So that's what I'm going to do. And I went ahead and put my timer for 20 minutes. And remember, you can always add more cooking time. You can't take away once you've overcooked it. We'll be back. All right, my cakes just came out of the oven, so I'm letting them cool. Now we're gonna use 2 cups, which is basically 1 whole bag of these, 12 ounces of semi-sweet with 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. Then you can put it in your microwave for a minute or so on 50% strength of heat. So this is all we're doing, is just pouring this cream on it. I'm going to stick in the microwave and I'll be back. While my chocolate is melting, you get 1/3 cup, no 1/4, sorry. 1/4 cup of butter, and then you just cut it in little tabs so that when your chocolate comes out and it's melting, you can start whisking this in to your melted chocolate to form your ganache. And it's as simple as that. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just cutting it into little tabs That way it melts quicker and easier. That's it. You gradually add a little bit of butter, little by little, so it doesn't break down so quickly and becomes this yummy gloss. So see, there you go. Here is our yummy chocolate that was microwaved. I just put 3 little tabs of butter in here. And I'm letting the heat of the chocolate melt them. And if you feel like your butter is too cold, you know, you can put it in the microwave for a few seconds just to soften it up before you incorporate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep melting my butter into this yummy smelling chocolate. I just want to dip my finger in, and we'll be back. Now that I have it all incorporated, see that? It's really thin though. So what you want to do is you want to keep whisking it for about 15 or 20 minutes, and basically you're cooling it off, and it's going to thicken and thicken and kind of build in volume. And so a way to kind of speed up the process is you can use a hand mixer, but be very careful. And you'll see it. Because you want to be able to spread it on your cake. This is still, and you can let it sit, but if you put it like in the fridge to cool, it's just going to get dense and be a mass, and it'll be hard to spread. So you still want it spreadable. You just want it thicker, but not, you know, super hard thick. So I'll just keep whisking this, and then I'll show you how it looks when I'm all done. Once your cakes have cooled for about 10 minutes, room temperature, then you're going to remove them from the pan. So, and cool them completely on a cooling rack. So I have this little cake tester, but on the side it has a little scraper thing. So this probably has about 5 more minutes. Then I'm going to just go around the sides to make sure it's not stuck, and then flip it over and cool it completely before we try to put anything, because remember, we're using ganache. If that chocolate gets any heat, it's just gonna run down the sides and be a big mess. Y'all, of course I hung a happy birthday banner back there for my husband. I got some balloons, but look how thick this has gotten. I whisked it up, put that air in it, and then let it sit. And so the colder it got, the more frostiness it got. And that's just super yummy. And this is what we're gonna frost in between our cake and on the sides. And then we're gonna top it with that praline topping. So our cakes are back here on cake racks. I took them out of the pan, they're completely cooling. And then we'll just need to wait till they're completely cold. We'll start assembling. You don't wanna do your praline till you're ready for it, because if you do it beforehand, it's going to seize up on you, it's going to harden really quickly, and then you're going to have to redo it. So I'm excited. I can't wait till he comes home and sees his cake put all together, and I wish him a happy birthday. I will get the hang of this one of these days. Alrighty, so I went ahead and put my first layer on here. I just put a little bit of chocolate at the bottom, put my cake on top. Then, and while I was frosting, I remembered I didn't have my camera on. So I've done the first layer. See all that yummy ganache in between? I'm gonna go grab the other layer, and let's see, let's grab this one. Peel this paper back. Oh, it's completely cold. And I guess I put it on this side. I don't know. Usually I don't have parchment paper on my cake. That looks even and yummy. So you put about half a cup of the filling in between the layers. It should make about 2 cups of filling. And then you put that last cup on the very top layer and on the sides. So we're just putting in this first. This in between yummy goodness of pure chocolate, really. Semi-sweet morsels that were melted with a little bit of heavy cream, and then 1/4 cup, I think, of butter. Yeah. So a lot of chocolate flavor. But like I said, that is his favorite. So this is it. You can always double up the recipe if you want more volume, but these are small thin cakes. This is already 2 layers. So in the past, what I was doing, I didn't let this sit, and it kind of soaked into the cake, and I think that's what he liked. But he can always warm up the cake. This, I'm trying to do it like the recipe, because I always veer off the recipe. I'm not much of a recipe follower except for the baking part. Normally, I do try to follow recipes, but when it comes to other stuff, you just can do it your own. Okay, now that we have that layer on, and I think I have enough to frost, hopefully, the top and the sides. So yummy. I'm excited. He's on his way home. Still has a little bit to come. And then we'll be doing Thirsty Thursday together. I'm going to surprise him and do one of his favorite drinks. And it is, he loves mudslides. He is a girly drink guy. I love it. All right, let me try to use a ladder because I'm so short to grab that cake plate. All right, had stuff on. The wax paper is greasy. Looking pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and get this frosting. And then once I get it frosted, then I'll go ahead and do the praline. Going. You don't have to worry about. Okay, so I've just kept. I was in the middle of a sentence when my camera cut off. I don't even know what I was saying, but oh, I think I was saying that you don't have to worry about putting a lot of chocolate on the top, like if you don't have like a really thick, heavy layer, because remember we're gonna put that praline frosting on top, and it's gonna go over the sides. So you just want to make sure it's covered, and plus it has 2 other layers of that ganache in between the cakes. So yeah, I'm just going around this cake and trying to cover it as best I can, scraping up all this yumminess off this bowl. Yeah, I'll just continue doing this, and I'll come back when I start making the praline, and then we'll pour it on. Okay, so now we're getting ready to do our praline. So we need to go ahead and we need 1 cup of chopped pecans roasted. So that was almost 1 cup. I'm glad I bought some more. Let me get, I bet pralined pecans would be amazing too. I'm gonna just put them on this. I'm gonna do a rough chop. They don't need to be, you know, super minced or anything like that. They're just going on the cake, and I'm gonna leave some of them to roast whole. Should have got them out before I did that. So then I can just decorate the top of the cake with it. Okay, a good amount. I think all the rest were kind of chopped, at least in half or a little corner of it. All right. So they say these are southern growth pecans. The pecans that I had in here, or pecans, however, I don't know, I say them both ways. Pecan pie. No, I don't even know how I say it. I know there some people are really funny about how it's pecan. But I think a pecan is, I don't know, something people say. I'm not going to say what people say about a pecan. I'm sure you can figure it out. But a pecan, they're just so yummy. So anyways, I usually buy them from a friend, or believe it or not, the bank. My friend who's from Mississippi, she always has a friend that will send her some amazing pecans. So I usually get it from her, or the bank gets like a big shipment. I don't know. I live in the South, so yeah, we buy pecans from our bank sometimes. They'll do, I don't know if it's a fundraiser some lady does for her kids, or it's just like the bank. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just gonna roast these at about like 250. You just basically want the oils to kind of warm up and get out, and it's already a nut, but it gets this extra nutty flavor and a depth of flavor that brings. So in the oven they go, and now we'll start on our praline. I'm gonna give those about 10-15 minutes and then start on our praline, because remember, once we start this, we can't stop and wait. We just need to get it together, and then we're gonna pour it on top. Okay, now that I have this beautiful cake frosted, does that not look yummy? Now I forgot to tell you a little trick to do. You know, if you tend to be a messy decorator, you're afraid you're gonna get all this stuff around here. Of course, I just cleaned mine up with a little wet paper towel. But before you put your first layer of cake, just put little parchment paper kind of on the sides, right underneath your cake as you lay it. Then frost, and then you just slide that wax paper, parchment paper out, and it saves your plate. So it looks all nice and clean. Or you can do it on another, cake plate and transfer, or put on like a board. All right, so, there's a little water. I just washed this, so as that little bit of water evaporates, we're gonna put 1/3, make sure that's right, no, 1/4, 1/4 of butter in this pan, 1 cup of packed brown sugar, and then 1/3 cup of whipping cream. Just these 3, and we're gonna do it on medium till we get to a boil. Yeah, 1/3 cup. Just wanted to double check, because I've been remember how to do that little overflow technique. I mean, you can always do a splash like that too. Alright, so we're just gonna move this around. Sorry, got a itchy nose. Isn't that something? You don't touch your face until you're on video trying to show people food, and then you just touch your face all the time. So just breaking up that brown sugar, melting it all up in here. I probably should have went higher with, can y'all see in here? Maybe this is a better view. So just moving this along. You want that sugar to melt. And once it starts boiling, that's when we add all our other ingredients, like the powdered sugar and the vanilla extract, which I'm using again, my bourbon vanilla extract. The alcohol cooks out, but it leaves this good, nice flavor. And then I'm gonna throw in a little bit of salt at the end. Again, this is my twist, almost like salted praline. Now, let me check my, oh yeah, these are ready. The pecans, been nicely toasted. See how they get all nice and a little bit dark. And as soon as I open that, I can smell it. So I'm glad I remembered. I'm gonna take them off the heat because we're gonna put this in our frosting. Starting to boil, starting to bubble a little bit. Put this here, let me refer to my notes. Okay, so we're gonna let this boil for 1 minute. So it's not quite at a, it's just bubbling right now. Once it gets to an actual boil, which is right now, I'm gonna put timer 1 minute. And I'll be back. It's been 1 minute exactly. Turn that up. You take it off the heat. I'm gonna put it maybe right here you can see. You start whisking in your powdered sugar little by little. All right, now that I've stirred that in there, I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon of this vanilla. Sorry. Since it has pods at the bottom, I always like to shake it before I pour it and get some of those vanilla beans. That smells so good. Alright, so you let it continue cooling for about 1 minute to 2. Then I'm going to fold in, not very long. I'm going to turn off my daughter's machine that's beeping in the background. I'm going to dump these praline, these pecans in here and fold them in. We'll be right back. Alright, so I am putting the pecans inside the praline. And all these little bits. Yes, look at that. All right, y'all, this is done. The colder it gets, it'll start thickening up. So I don't want to wait too long. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle it with this salt. Give it that salty sweet, and I'll do it right at the end. Okay, so here is our cake, and it's getting thick. I just wanted to wait a little bit because I didn't want it to be too hot and melt my chocolate. So here is a yummy praline frosting topping. And you just pour it on top and it's gonna run down the sides. It sets pretty quick, so you can help it along. Oh my gosh, you guys. Yep, that is it. Ooh. You see that? Does that not look amazing? And then what I'm gonna do is get those pecans that I left whole. I separated them out of the thing. Then I'm just gonna put them on top, really pretty. And I will top them with the salt. And you'll see the salt kind of, I could have made like a little design, but I'm hoping to put a candle or such in the middle, whatever. But there's that, and let me grab that salt again. That's it, not too much. And there's Richie's birthday cake, double chocolate, praline fudge cake, pecan praline. So for all you chocolate and praline lovers, here's your cake. And I'll come back later when he comes home. Maybe we can surprise him live, because I'm going to do his favorite mudslide tonight. And it's going to be super yummy with coffee and ice cream and just goodness. Chocolatey syrup and some nice toppings and cool whipped cream and yummy. So I hope you try this recipe. It is super delicious. From my kitchen to yours, buen provecho. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time.